Hey, what is up there, guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of The Evolve. How you guys doing on today? You know what? I'm doing all right. So, you know what we're talking about on today? Today, I want to get right into it because recently I was on a live stream and some of the fans and subscribers, some of you all posed a question. Now, what you all said, you asked, hey, what do you think was the better album, or which one is your favorite? Rather, was it Eminem or was it Joyner, his newly released ADHD album? Now, I gotta admit, after thinking long and hard on the stream, that question, it caught me off guard, but I thought about it and I didn't give my answer on the stream because I said that I was going to make this video so that I can explain in detail why I made the decision and the choice that I made. Because I'm going to be honest, both records, both albums, and both artists, they did a absolutely phenomenal job with the body of work and the songs that they produced to us, to the general public. So I wanted to tell you all in today's video just what I think was the better album, or at the very least my favorite. Let's get right into it. Okay, so let's get right into it. So whenever I am judging a great body of work, or I'm trying to compare what is great compared to something else, and I'm trying to find out my favorite part, there are four main categories that I look for, and I'm going to use those four categories myself for today to kind of explain why I picked who I picked. Now, these four categories that we're going to go over on today is basically between these two albums, Eminem's album and Joyner's album. These are the four categories. I'm going to be kind of basing it off of the playback value, the content, the ROP, which is the range of play. I'll explain that more when we get into it. The relevant, how relevant it is to me, or relevance. And then finally, the creativity. Just notice that is actually not 4, but that's actually 5. Hello, ADHD. Oh, but anyway, let's go on. So starting with our first category, the playback value, and judging on both of these two, if I'm being honest, I take a listen, and I listen to Eminem, and I listen to all of his tracks. And then on the other day, I listened to all of Joyner's tracks, and I gotta be honest that when it comes to the playback value, I even found myself, even today, playing a few of Joyner's songs a little bit more than Eminem songs on today. And not just that, there are a lot more, not to say that Eminem doesn't have playback value. I'm saying that at this point, Joyner, for me, a lot more of his songs, I am playing a lot more right now. Now, mind you, it could just because his album just released and it's fresh and whatnot. That could be the case. But like I said, I'm doing it based off of me as of right now. And right now, Joyner does have a higher playback value for me as we speak. So I'm going to give Joyner the point in this category. Now, the next category is content. Content meaning, you listen to the songs and what is the content? Are we talking about something? Is there a story? Who out of these two, who did the better job as far as delivering a wide range of content, and actually, rather it's enlightening the listener, or not even enlightening or inspiring or making them laugh. I mean, good content, whenever you get content in an album is not just about making you jump and rock and bounce and dance, but content will literally make you sometimes think or smile or cry or there's a lot of different more feelings than just dancing and bobbing your head. That's when you know that you got real content. And I've got to be honest, I listened to Joyner's album and I listened to Eminem's album, and I found myself, kind of invested and wrapped up and tied up in Eminem's story and a lot of his songs. And I mean, I look at tracks like Darkness, and then I go to tracks like Godzilla, and then I go to songs like I'm Leaving Heaven, and then there's songs like Stepdad. There's such a wide range of content speaking, rather it's about his life or rather it's about how he has overcome and how haters have tried to keep him down. I mean, there's a lot of content invested in Eminem's album. Not to say that there wasn't content in Joyner's album, because there really was, and there was a lot of it, but it was a lot of the same for Joyner, which is sometimes bad, but sometimes it can be great. In Joyner's case, the content that he brought, it was actually pretty good and it was pretty great. But like I said, for me, I liked a variety. So with regards to content, there was a lot more variety of content in Eminem's. Point for him. Now, next is the ROP. The ROP just basically mean range of play. Now, what is range of play? See, range of play is the ability to enlarge your territory. See, range of play means that there is a wide range there's a wide range, an area and places that I can play this album. Rather, I'm going to work, or I'm in the break room, or I am just got it rocking, blasting while I'm going down the streets, or even in church. I can play it at the school I'm waiting to pick up my kids, or I can play it at home when I've got family over. There is a wide range of places that I can play this music without it feeling uncomfortable or not appropriate or whatsoever. And I believe that the range of play point is going to go to Joyner in this case. A lot more of his songs, I listen to his albums, a lot more of his songs I can play almost more anywhere than what I can play far as with Eminem. And that's really, I don't really got too much to explain. That's just me. Okay, so Joyner gets the point. So right now we're at 2-1. The next one is our relevant. How relevant is it? I mean, to me. And whenever I'm judging something to be my favorite or something that I really like or really enjoy, yes, I do agree with a lot of people. It being relevant is a big part. It's a big part of, I think everyone, whether we admit it or not. Now, it's not the main thing, which a lot of haters is going to take this little segment and be like, see, he's not relevant. I told you it's important. That's why we don't with him. But where they make their mistake is that they feel that relevance is everything. And it's not. It's only a small part. It's a small portion, but it does play its role in your personal enjoyment. When something is more relevant to you, then obviously you're gonna enjoy it more. You're gonna see it in a new light. You're gonna experience it in a different way than others experience. I mean, it's not just gonna be a listening experience, but when you can relate to something, it is a life experience. So the album, once I listened to Joyner's story, his album did an amazing job, even better so than Eminem, as far as stand on one thing. I mean, you listen to all of his songs, and he stayed for this whole album. They all complements each other. You don't get that. You don't find that anymore in songs. It's just, hey, you want to be a feature, you want to be on, you got a good beat. There's, in these albums, they're so sporadically placed and put together and trying to hurry and put out that there's really no theme, no core meaning or mission like there were back in the past when people made albums. It was to send a direct message, and all of the songs surrounded and evolved around one core message. I compliment Joyner for staying on his message and staying true to his topic at hand. And like I said, all of his songs complement. Now, getting back to relevance, and that leads me to, he talked a lot about his struggle and ADHD, and a lot of the songs were around that theme. Now, Eminem, the majority and the vast majority, it did talk a lot about himself. It was almost a mix of Revival and the Slim Shady LP. He talked a lot about himself, and there were songs like Stepfather and Leaving Heaven where he talked about, I'm not gonna give up, forget these, haters. And, it talked about his childhood a lot in this album. And, he even, he talked about himself and how he's not giving up and how he's going to endure. There was a lot of songs based and surrounded around endurance and integrity, and really showing the world, another part of himself, even a vulnerable. Yeah, I said that right. A vulnerable part of himself. And listening to the two albums, I gotta say, Eminem's albums and a lot more of his songs, it spoke a lot more to myself. I related to a lot more. I kind of was in those hard times, and there are times that I find myself, having to remind myself that, it's gonna be all right. I got this. Ain't gotta worry about the haters. I've come too far to turn around now. I come too far to stop now because someone disagree or don't like and whatnot. So I was a lot more on board with Eminem's message and kind of general theme of the majority of his songs. So definitely when it comes to relevance, point to Eminem. So that leads us that leads us to 2 and 2. And that leads us to creativity, which is my final determining factor, in which which basically decided which one of these albums were greater to me, and I think to the more of the general public as well, and that was creativity. And I think this one was an easy one for me because it goes back to what I just said. Joyner had a phenomenal album that stuck to a theme, and it really only had one song that I would say that missed the mark. But other than that, every other song was pretty great, really good. But the problem and the reason why you can't give Joyner the creativity over Eminem's album is really simple. We basically heard Joyner's album for the last 2 years. I mean, we've got 7 songs that was different, or 6, but we heard 60% because he released singles and videos for the last year and a half. So There wasn't nothing really new. And plus, I gotta say, although fire, his pattern and a lot of his songs, well, almost all of his songs, they did follow almost the same flow and beat and cadence and pattern, but they were fire. And I compliment him for being able to produce, although something so similar, still produce fire. But when it comes to creativity, you have to give it to him. There was a wide range of not just topics and abilities and cadence and how he flowed and what he talked about, but he came up with a whole project. I mean, everything was different. We haven't heard a lot of it. From Darkness to Godzilla to his music videos to his lyrics. The creativity on Eminem's album, you know, it truly excelled beyond expectations. So that's why, in closing, I just say that, man, it was close for me when I heard this question, because I really did truly enjoy on that live stream just listening to Joyner's pieces, his body of work, especially the new parts that we got. But at the end of the day, you know, Eminem, he gave us something new, and he gave us a part of himself in this album, and that's why Eminem's album is definitely the better album to me. And but it was close. Now, I know a lot of the stands and a lot of you all are going to say, oh, it's not even close. That's all right, because that's your opinion. But once again, this is mine. Hey, guys, I would love to know what you all think and how you all feel. You guys got my category, so I would definitely like to see in the comments who would you all give the check mark to in these categories. I know that my opinion may not be yours, so you may do something a little bit different. So I definitely want to see what you all put in the comments. That'd be super dope. As always, hey, KIP, keep it positive. It's gonna be all right. I will see you all in the very next video. That's it. Y'all have a drink, man. Y'all in quarantine, man. See y'all.